Hi guys, welcome. Emma here. Thank you so much for being here and for choosing to practice with me today. Today's going to be a fun one. We're going to work into an arm balance called Grasshopper pose. And I should have kind of looked what it's called in Sanskrit. I don't really know if this is actually even a real yoga pose, but it's been invented at least by the Instagram yogis. So it's kind of fun. We'll do some hip opening. If nothing else, I'll give you always lots of options, modifications, steps on how to get there eventually if you're not down to try it today. Let's go ahead and get started on our stomach, actually. Yeah, let's come to a child's pose. Child's pose, back of your mat, knees wide, big toes touch. Child's pose is a little bit more relaxed, I think. It doesn't always feel so great getting started right on your stomach. Make any adjustments you need, as always, to feel a little bit more comfortable in your body here. If you need to adjust your clothes, bring your knees wider, or drape your arms by your side, feel free. Start to feel your breath traveling down your spine. Waking up, warming up, igniting those different parts in the body, some of which might feel a little tight or tense. I'll give you a few breaths here. If you'd like to take some side stretches, walk the hands to the right for a few breaths, then to the left for a few breaths. Or you could stretch out your triceps, walk the elbows a little forward, and then I like prayer hands over the head. I think of pressing the elbows down a little bit. You should feel this gently in your triceps. A few more breaths. Release whatever you're doing and slide all the way forward onto your stomach. Onto your stomach, I'll have you move over to the right side of your mat. Extend your left arm out to the left, palm face down. Your right hand will be under your right shoulder. Roll onto your left hip, left shoulder. You're stretching the front of the left shoulder, the left side of the chest. Your right foot might step behind you, and your right leg will look kind of like a bridge pose. The more you roll back, the more you'll feel the stretch. So if you need less, you just start to roll more onto the front of your body. A few deep breaths. And then roll back onto your stomach. Now you'll stretch the back of the left shoulder. So thread your left arm through like thread the needle. Bring your right knee out to the right. So right knee out to the right, left arm through. And you could use your right forearm as a pillow for your forehead or your left temple. For me, my mic's a little bit in the way, so focus more on what I'm saying, less on what I look like. But you're relaxing yourself to the mat. It should feel pretty good, especially in the back of the left shoulder. Allow your left thigh muscle to soften. Think about your right hip melting down. Lift your forehead up, put your right palm into your left palm like you're clapping your hands, and then start to sweep the right arm behind you, landing in a supine twist. So the right arm sweeps all the way out to the right. Try to get the right shoulder down, and if the right knee lifts, don't worry about it. It's no problem. Could also take left hand to the right knee for 3, 2, 1. Roll all the way onto your back. You might need to scoot more towards the center of your mat, and then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze and start to circle the knees, either keeping them together or away from each other. Should feel nice on the hips. Go the other way. And then bring both knees into your chest. Squeeze. Catch behind your hamstrings. Start to rock up and down the length of your spine. We'll do this 3, 4, maybe 5 times. Get some momentum going. After your last time, you'll use momentum, maybe the help of your hands, to come into a standing forward fold. So you're facing the back of your mat. Feet are about mat's distance with a generous bend in your knees. Think of crawling your ribs down your thighs. You could grab opposite elbows, bind your hands, whatever feels good. Allow the back of your body to soften. Start to feel some more space, a little bit more length. If you're feeling tense or tight, think of utilizing your breath to clear that out. Switch grip. Relax your jaw. Focus on those exhales. And hands to the mat. Bring your feet the width of your hips, halfway lift. Plug the shoulders back, gaze down, think L shape, and fold. Hands to your mat, step your left foot back, find a runner's lunge, and then move your hips around a little bit. You could bend and straighten or just shift the weight. We'll meet in a low lunge, left knee to the mat, both arms sweep up. Relax your shoulders. Drive your right heel into the mat. Right hand will grab your left wrist and lean over to the right. If you prefer, right hand hip or to a block. Squeeze your left glute. Back through center, half splits. Shift back a bit. Flex your right toes. Your leg doesn't need to be completely straight. Try to avoid rounding your spine a lot. If you need, walk your hands back. Rebend your right knee. Spin your left shin behind you so your toes will point off the long edge of your mat. Walk your hands diagonally to the left and drop your head. So it's a modified down dog lunge. Arms are active like you're pressing in down dog. You're looking back at your left heel and thinking of driving your tailbone towards your back heel, your left heel. You'll walk your hands along the long edge of your mat until the left hand finds the front of your mat. Sweep your right arm overhead. Modified side plank. Feel a big reach through the right side of the body. Your right foot is like a warrior 2. Straight, outer edge pressing down, and then tabletop position. Face the front of your mat, tabletop. Inhale, arch your back, look up, cow pose. Exhale, chin to your chest, round your spine, cat. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round, scoop your tailbone. 3 more, doing cat-cows, or circling out the hips, rolling out the neck and shoulders. 3 breaths to start to wake up your spine in any way that feels good, that feels natural. And then we'll meet in a neutral tabletop. Keep your hips stacked over your knees. Walk your hands forward, puppy, forehead down or chin down. I like to grab the top of the mat. Imagine pulling it forward, almost trying to hollow out the armpits. Feel a lift in your lower abdomen. You draw the lower abs in. Think belly button towards your tailbone, and then you're flipping your tailbone up. So arching your back a little bit like cow pose. Slide all the way forward onto your stomach and move over to the left side of your mat. Once you get there, left side of the mat, your right arm will go out to the right, palm down. Start to roll to the right shoulder, right hip as you step your left foot behind you. The left leg might look like a little bit like bridge pose. Roll back for more sensation, roll forward for less. 3, 2, unwind, left knee out to the left. So you're coming back onto your stomach, left knee to the left. Now thread the right arm through, palm face up, like thread the needle. Left forearm will act as a pillow for either your forehead or your right temple. Allow the pressure of the mat to soften the back of the right shoulder, around the shoulder blade, the top of the right thigh. And then plant your left hand into your right hand, almost like you're clapping your hands. Press a little bit so you roll onto the right shoulder, sweep your left arm behind you, supine twist. Left shoulder, work it towards the mat. Maybe right hand to the left thigh. 3. Look to the left, feel like you're wringing out your spine. 2. 1, all the way onto your back. Adjust towards the center of your mat if you need. Feet down. Start to lift your hips up, bridge pose, nice and gentle. Scoop your tailbone, firm your glutes. Think about squeezing a block or a balloon between your knees. And release your hips down. Hug both knees into your chest, and then again, rock up and down the length of your spine 3, 4, 5 times. Make it feel nice, almost like a massage. After your last time, use your momentum, maybe no help of your hands this time. Standing forward fold, take a different grip. Still keep your feet wide and bend the knees if you need, but try something new with your arms. You could bind your hands, or you could clasp your hands behind your head. I kind of like that, adding some extra pressure on your head to help release the cervical spine. If it feels good, sway, head bob, shake it out. But if you prefer stillness, you can start to find that too. If you're doing something with your hands or arms, just switch. Start to squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the lower abdomen like you're drawing your belly button up and in. Feel a little bit more fold. And then release your hands to the mat. Walk feet in just a tad, they're hip width. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold. Right foot steps back, so you're in a runner's lunge, and then move your hips around a bit. Side 2 sometimes feels different. Pay attention to the sensations. Doesn't need to look the exact same. Go where you feel the same. Drop your right knee and reach both arms up. Low lunge, shoulders relax, waistline in. Make sure the left knee's not going past the toes. Left hand grab your right wrist and lean to the left. Feel some length through the right side of your abdomen. Bring your torso back through center, half split. Shift back, flex your toes. You could walk the hands back, remember. Top of the right ankle, press down. Rebend your left knee. Spin your right shin behind you so the toes point off the long edge of your mat. Walk your hands diagonally to the right. Drop your head, look at your right heel. You still want your left knee tracking in the direction of your toes. Arms active like down dog. Walk along the side of your mat until the right hand comes to the top. Sweep your left arm overhead. Big reach. Your left leg's like a warrior 2, so the toes are pointing to the long edge of your mat, the outside edge of the foot pressing down, and tabletop face forward. Adjust your hands, your knees if you need, tabletop, and then tuck your toes. Float your shins off the mat. Think of squeezing a block between your knees. Shoulders, hips in one line, look down between your thumbs and squeeze those lower abs for 3. 2, keep your knees bent, lift your hips up. Knees bent, heels high, bear pose, very similar to down dog. Should feel pretty good in the lower back. Try to press through the palms, lengthen your arms. Straighten your right leg, drive your heel towards the mat. Switch. And then pedal out your legs, shake out your head. Any movement that feels good. And then we'll meet both heels lifted but straight legs. Down dog, heels up, straight legs. Squeeze your calves, come up higher onto your toes, and then tiptoe your feet to the top of your mat. It should get challenging the closer you get. We will meet with our big toes touching, a little sliver between the heels. Top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe you grab your ankles. Press down into your feet, rise all the way up, reach up. Hands to your heart. And down by your side. All right, we'll do 2 rounds of sun salutation A. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up, maybe lean back. Exhale, forward fold, take it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Plant your hands, step back with your right foot, then your left foot, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Plug the shoulders back. Roll over your toes, downward facing dog, inverted V shape. Hide your heels behind your ankles so they go out a little bit. Hollow out the armpits, hug your upper arm bones in. Really squeeze the thigh muscles. Flip the tailbone up, feel the stretch through the lower back. And then lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Step right foot, left foot, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All the way up, arms up. Hands, heart, to your side. Round 2, arms up, look up, maybe lean back. Exhale, fold, press all the air out. Squeeze, halfway lift, hands down, step back, left foot, then right foot, chaturanga. Inhale up, exhale, down dog. Fingers spread out, inner palms press down. Find some length through your arms, your waist, spine. Head relax, looking between your feet or up towards your belly button, wherever you feel less tension on your neck. Maybe eyes closed. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, step with your left foot, right foot, halfway lift, and fold. All the way up, both arms, hands to your heart, and down by your side. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Feet together is not doing it. Take your feet a little wider. Bring both hands to your heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. Keep your knees glued together. Inner thighs squeeze. Stack the elbows, sternum towards your thumbs. As you unwind, send your left leg back, warrior 3. Press your thumbs into your sternum. Lift up from your left heel, flex your foot. Step your left foot behind your right so your ankles are crossed and reach both arms up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist, and lean over to the right. Send your hips a little bit to the left. Inhale, back up through center. Uncross your feet, and then as you reach down, bend your knees, Utkatasana, both arms up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a breath in. Breath out, twist to the left. Hook your right elbow outside your left knee. Sternum towards your thumbs. Weight to your heels, maybe gaze up. Unwind, warrior 3. Right leg goes back, foot flex. Think about the inner thigh lifting, the outer thigh going down. And then as you come up to stand, right foot behind left, reach both arms up. Your ankles are crossed. Left hand, grab your right wrist, lean to the left. Come back up through center. Uncross your feet, take any back bend. Palms together, cactus arms, low back or bind. Squeeze your glutes, weight to your heels. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Malasana or yogi squat. For Malasana, your feet stay together, the Ashtanga way. Knees out wide, try to get your big toes and your heels to stay touching. You'll either walk your hands forward, walk your hands back, or grab your heels. For yogi squat, your feet will be mat distance, toes pointing out. You could place a block under your seat if you'd like. You're trying to get those hands to heart center as you press the knees away. So in yogi squat, your focus is a nice long spine. Tailbone down, crown of the head up. But in Malasana, you're trying to round your spine, hugging the inner thighs in, the knees in, tucking your chin to your chest, and then almost trying to get the crown of your head towards your big toes, squeezing for 3. No right or wrong, just different options. 2. 1, if you would like Bakasana, crow pose, hands in front of you, lift your hips up nice and high. Start to come up onto your tippy toes, bend your elbows. Your knees will go as high up into your armpits as you can. Make a shelf, squeeze your inner thighs, one or both feet can lift up. You have to keep engaging your lower abs, everything around your hip flexors. And then when you're ready, you'll step, jump your feet back. You could take push-ups, you could hold plank. Eventually, we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. Press the inner palms down. Think about headlights on your hips. Try to keep them square. So right now, both headlights are pointing down. Try to keep that as you lift your right leg up. So it might not go up super high. Exhale, squeeze, knee to nose, round your back. Right leg up. Crunch to the left elbow. Right leg up. Take a step. Warrior 1, big inhale. Left hip forward, right hip back. Maybe look up and press your palms together. Breath in. Breath out, Skandasana or side lunge to the back of your mat. Bend your left knee, hands to your heart. You'll flex your right toes to point up, or all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat, hands down. Either way, feel the stretch inner right thigh for 3. Find your breath, 2. Stamp your left heel into the mat, 1. Rise up, star pose, straight legs, big reach. Turn your right toes to point the front of your mat, warrior 2. Relax your shoulders, adjust the feet if you need. Squeeze the glute muscles towards each other, and then flip your right palm, reverse warrior. On your exhale, both hands to the mat, step your right foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Headlights on your hips, keep them square. Left leg goes up. Exhale, squeeze, knee to nose. Up and back, foot flex. Exhale to the right elbow. Up and back, inhale. Exhale, take a step. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Right hip forward, left hip back, shoulders down your spine. Inhale, look up, maybe palms together. Exhale, Skandasana to the back of your mat. Side lunge if you prefer. Left toes flex. Feel the thigh externally rotate. So it's like the inner thighs going up and the outer thighs going down. Use your right glute, maybe the help of your hands. Press all the way up, star pose. And then turn your left toes out, warrior 2, forward towards the top of your mat. Flip your left palm, reverse warrior, reach. Exhale, both hands to the mat, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, doing that again, right leg up, inhale. Exhale, step. Warrior 1, rise up. to the back, side lunge or flying monkey. You could always come halfway down. Rise all the way up, star, that's your inhale. And exhale, warrior two. Palm flip, reverse. Vinyasa, take it through. Right into the left side, left leg up. Exhale, step. Warrior one. Skandasana or side lunge to the back. Star pose, that's your inhale. Warrior two, front of your mat. Palm flip, reverse. Hands down, vinyasa. Follow the pace of your breath. It could be faster or slower than I'm moving. It's all good as long as you're moving with your breath. One more time, right leg up. And step. Warrior one. Skandasana to the back. All the way up, both arms, look up. And two to the front. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, chaturanga. You're welcome to skip any of these and meet downward facing dog. Right into left side, left leg, and step. Warrior one, to the back, right knee bending. Star pose. Warrior two, left toes out. Reverse. Vinyasa. Meet in the down dog. We'll do something pretty similar. However, we're going to be adding some things in, holding for a little bit longer. Some of the first few poses might look the same, and then we'll move from there. Regain control of your breathing. Feel your breath travel up and down your spine. And then lift your right leg up. Exhale, step up, warrior one. This time, bind your hands behind your back. Inhale, curl back, lift your sternum, gaze up. Humble warrior, drop inside your right thigh. This doesn't feel good with the grip. You could always walk your hands diagonally to the left for down dog lunge. Bump your hips a little to the left. Squeeze that left thigh muscle to help protect the knee for 3, 2, 1. Release your grip. Skandasana to the back of your mat and then sit down. So I want your right leg parallel with the long edge of your mat. You have 3 options with your left leg. Option 1, they'll go from hardest to easiest. Hug your left shin in, keep your toes pointing to the other long edge of your mat. This is option 1. Option 2, your left knee will point to the long edge of the mat, toes point back, and you'll manipulate your left calf out of the way. That's option 2. Option 3, bottom of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Now, your right hand will either grab your left hip for options 2 and 3, or your right hand will grab your left ankle for option 1. All of these, your left arm goes up and over. It's a big side bend, gate pose. Flex your right foot. You could try to grab your foot. You don't have to. I don't want your torso dumping forward. So if you're sacrificing that, lift up a little bit and think of a lean back. You kind of want your chest to spiral up. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift your torso up. Plant your left foot like option 1 if it's not already. And then lift your hips up a bit. We'll meet in a runner's lunge facing the back of your mat. Reach both arms up, crescent warrior, high lunge. Then draw both hands to your heart center. Press your thumbs into your sternum. Take an inhale, squeeze your right glute. Exhale, twist to the left. Hook your right elbow outside your left knee. Press your left palm into your right. Your left knee wants to fall in. Press it out to the left, and then activate your right leg. 3. Maybe look up. 2. 1. Back knee down. Hands to the mat. Shift back. Half split. Should feel pretty good. Flex your left toes. Now, your left toes are going to turn in. Right shin behind you. Modified side plank at the front of your mat. We've been here before. Right hand down, top of your mat. Big reach through the left arm. Feel really strong through your right hand and your left foot. Start to lift your right leg up, kick it all the way out, fall in triangle. You could always kick it out once and then kick it out again. The left foot is like a warrior 2. Bring your left hand down. Send your right leg up behind you. We'll all meet in a 3-leg down dog with the right leg up. Down dog, right leg up. Take an inhale. Exhale, crunch, right knee to your nose. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then start to walk your hands back towards the back of your mat. We'll be in kind of this fold with figure 4 legs. Now you've got a few options. Option 1, stay here. It's a nice hip stretch. Option 2, you could take flying pigeon. Hands down. Your right shin is parallel with the mat. You're using your elbows as a shelf. Tip your weight forward, maybe left foot lift. Or for grasshopper pose, we're going to come up to a figure 4. Your right ankle's over your left thigh. You could always watch it first. Pause the video and attempt it. So you're in figure 4. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to the left, like what we just did in our crescent lunge. Now, if you've got that, you're going to keep the right foot above the right elbow. So right foot's kind of on the right tricep. You're going to bring your hands down, pointing forward. Hands down, grip the mat. Fingers point towards the front of your mat. Press your right foot into your right tricep, and then see if you can send your left leg out to the left. 3. I'm definitely slipping a bit, so I might need to readjust. Hands down. You could even rest the left side of your body on your left elbow. Kick your left leg out to the left for 3, 2, 1. I fell out. I definitely would recommend trying this with maybe leggings on or a towel, but you really need to make sure that right foot is above the right elbow. So if you're on the elbow or below, it's not going to work. I also like to come down and use my left tricep, the left elbow, as kind of like a shelf for the left torso. So having both hands on the mat, but this side lifted, is really, really challenging. Try to think arms hug in like chaturanga arms, not out like push-up arms. All right? So from wherever you are, we're going to go ahead and meet figure 4, back of the mat. I'll have you lift your right knee out in front of you. And then bring your hands down. Tap your right knee to your left calf. So you're going to be in a Shiva squat with the hands on the mat. And then drop your right knee outside of your left heel. We're going to meet Ardha Matsyadrasana, back of the mat. It's a seated twist. Your right leg's on the bottom, left leg's on the top. If this is too much, extend your right leg forward. Let's twist to the left for 3. 2. 1. Keep your legs, unwind your torso, plant your hands over to the right side, counter stretch. Press yourself back up. Cow face pose. If you would prefer not to do cow face pose, take pigeon pose on your left side. We're going to press the left knee over to the right knee over to the left. The goal is to get both sitting bones on the mat and pulling your feet back a little bit. Now for me, my knees don't really stack, but I still feel it in my hips. And that's always what I would recommend. So it doesn't matter so much how it looks. If you feel the sensation, you're in the right spot. If you try to push it to look perfect, you're probably going to injure yourself. So stay where you feel a little bit of tension, a little bit of discomfort, and breathe into it. The arms, I like to grab my feet. I don't know, it's almost kind of calming. You can kind of try to pull them back. You could walk your hands forward, eagle wrap, left arm on the bottom, grab hands behind your back. So many options. I just want to focus a little bit more on the hips. I don't really care too much what your arms are doing. Last breath. All right, now I know maybe this is easy for me because my legs are short. Give it a try. If it's too much, don't do it. I'm gonna have you rock forward. So you're on your knees, plant your hands in front of you, lift your right leg up first, move your left leg to the left, you're in tabletop, then you're in downward facing dog. That was a very short version of it. If that's too much, no worries. However you'd like to get out, go for it. We're gonna meet in a down dog, face the front of your mat, and we'll do the left side. When you're ready, left leg goes up, and exhale, take a step, rise up, warrior one, both arms. Bind your hands, opposite thumb on top. Left leg is forward, inhale, curl back, sternum up. Exhale, drop inside left thigh. Bump your hips a little bit to the right. Relax your head. Squeeze your right leg. Release your hands to the mat. Start to shift the weight over to the right leg. You're going to drop all the way down to a seat for gate pose. Now, your left leg, you can see here, is parallel with the long edge of my mat. You've got the same three options with your foot. Try to do the same thing you did on side one. Option one, right shin hugging in, toes point forward. Option two, right knee points forward, move the calf out of the way. Or option three, bottom of the right foot to the inner left thigh. Your left hands will grab either your right hip or your right ankle, depending. Right arm goes up, inhale. Exhale, lean to the left and lean back a bit. Now you'll notice, you can see it on this side with me, the right hip is gonna lift up. It's almost impossible without shifting back to bring it back down. So I just want you to think about pressing the right hip down and see how that even changes the posture, just using your imagination. Don't forget to breathe. And then come back up. Plant your right foot like option one. Pivot to the back of your mat, runner's lunge. Right foot forward, runner's lunge, both arms up, crescent. Crescent warrior, face the back of your mat, bring your hands to your heart center. Take breath in, exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow outside left knee, press your right palm down into your left. Your left knee wants to sag, press the back of the knee up. Twist, 3, 2, 1. Unwind, hands down, drop your back knee and shift back to a half split. This should feel really nice. Right toes turn to the left, left shin spin behind you. Modified side plank, left hand is at the top of the mat. Big reach through the right arm. Your right leg is like warrior two. The outer edge of the foot is parallel with the back of your mat. Press the left hand and the right foot down as you start to lift your left knee up, kick it out once or twice, fall in triangle. You want your left shoulder over your left wrist. Maybe right arm reach forward. 3, 2, right hand down. 1. Send your left leg up behind you. We'll meet in a down dog with the left leg up. Take a breath, then crunch your knee to your nose. As you shift back, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. You're in figure 4, down dog. Start to walk your hands back towards the back of your mat. And then you can stay in this nice hip stretch, like a folded figure 4. Or you could come up. You could also take the flying pigeon arm balance, where you're going to use your triceps, your elbows as a shelf for the left shin. Or we're going to try our grasshopper pose. So I think I might demo this a little bit more to this side. You can try it however you prefer. So your left ankle will be over your right thigh. First, prayer hands. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. You want your left elbow, tricep at the bottom of your left foot, pressing your palms together. Now to me, this is already challenging. So you already need to have the hip flexibility for this. Then you also need to have the strength of your arms. So your hands are going to plant. You want your fingers pointing forward. Now I actually kind of like to wiggle that right foot out a little bit. And then I'm going to be dropping my right waist towards my right elbow, kicking right leg out to the right. So as you can see, my left foot is kind of slipping. So the more often you do it, I think the more flexible you'll become. It takes me a few tries, as you can see, so don't get discouraged. The higher you can get that left foot on the tricep, the better. So hands go down, shift weight forward, to the right leg kick out, look to your right foot for 3, 2, 1. Whew. That's one of the hardest arm balances to me because it requires so much hip flexibility, core strength, and then you're also having to squeeze all of your inner thighs all around your hip flexors to make sure this leg doesn't fall away and you fall out onto your face. So give it a shot. Maybe start with our figure 4 twisting. To me, that's a great preparation for your hip. And then start to go for it. Let's all meet in a figure 4, back of the mat, left ankle over your right thigh. And then we'll go to a Shiva squat with the hands to the mat. Hands down, left knee to your right calf. Drop your left knee outside your right ankle and come down to your seat. So you're in seated twist, right leg on top. If this is too much, your left leg will go forward. Let's twist to the right. You want to try to get your right sitting bone closer to the mat. That might lift the right foot up. So if you have the sitting bone down, I want you to also try to press the ball of the right foot down. Keep your legs, unwind your torso, counter stretch to the left, little dip, and to press back up. Now, cow face pose. You're halfway there, really. I just want you to move your right foot a little to the left. I like to use my hands kind of to force the knees together. Right hand will press the right knee to the left as the left hand presses the left knee to the right. Now again, as you can see, this foot's not very far back. My knees aren't on top of one another. That's okay for me. I don't really care if it doesn't look perfect. I feel this a lot in my hips and it feels quite nice. So try to find that space. I like to think of, something that is a little painful while you're doing it, but you know it's good for you. So like a cold plunge or a deep tissue massage, acupuncture, whatever you find a little bit challenging, but you know it's really good for you, that's what I would compare this pose to. See if you can breathe through it. Any way you'd like to get out of this. So I like to kind of rock the weight a little forward. So I kind of come onto the knees, shoulders over wrists, like a tabletop with funky legs. Lift your left leg up. As you do that, move your right shin, left knee down, you're in tabletop. Now, we're gonna meet in a seat. So maybe just crossing the ankles, come back to a seat. Extend your legs forward. Move the fleshy part of your seat out from underneath you so the sitting bones go down. Little tilt of the pelvis forward, arms up, knees can bend, and exhale, fold it forward. You can grab ankles, shins, feet, or you can put a block in front of your feet if you're flexible. However, focus less on how flexible it looks and enjoy the sensation in the back of your thighs, the back of your legs. Slowly walk your hands back towards you. Bump your hips forward, and then we're going to come down onto our back. And I'll actually have you bring the bottoms of the feet to touch, knees out wide. We're going to take a butterfly or bound angle bridge. So we're going to keep the legs like this to take bridge pose, kind of stretch out the inner thighs. However, if that doesn't sound nice, just take a regular bridge pose. Arms are down by your side. You'll want them under your thighs. Press the outer edges of your feet down and lift your hips up. You'll notice they won't go out super far. I think this feels really nice after all that hip stretch we just did, or hip openers, I guess you would say. And then slowly lower that down. Now keep your left leg as it is. Close the right leg on top like a book, and then look over to the right. Open the right leg back up. Bring your head through center, round 2. Arms down, outer edges of the feet press, lift hips up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips down. Keep your right leg as it is. Close your left leg up and over like a book and look to the left. Bring your knees back through center. Give yourself a squeeze. And then choose a final resting pose that feels good to you. So I might actually come up into a seat today. I've been kind of liking that. You know, as you loosen up the hips, it becomes a little bit more comfortable to actually sit. You're welcome to lay on your back, come to a child's pose, find somewhere you feel you can relax. And I challenge you today to stay for the longest 5 breaths that you can. If you have longer than that, bravo. But you could pause the video, take your time, and then come back. But we're going to take 5 really long breaths together. Your next inhale a little bit deeper. Start to come back to your body. You roll out the neck, wiggle your fingers. From wherever you are, I'd like you to take a big stretch. Extend your legs and arms, or just reach those arms up overhead, arch your back a little bit. And then give yourself a squeeze. You can wrap your arms around yourself or hug your knees into your chest. If you're on your back, roll to one side. And gradually make your way up to a comfortable seat. Draw both hands to the heart center. Press the thumbs into the sternum. Acknowledge all the hard work, things you tried today. Thank your body for showing up as always. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Bow your head towards your heart. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Thank you for sharing your energy and your practice. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for enduring this challenging class, trying some funky new things. If you have specific questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. I do have a 1 week of inversions and arm balances workshop on Vimeo that you can purchase or rent. So each day we cover a different inversion or arm balance, from things like headstand, crow, to I believe we do flying splits and flying pigeons. So I will link it in the comments. If you're interested, go check it out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, and continue your practice on your own. Thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Namaste.